Charisma
Yeah.
McElwain.
Nope, just Charisma.
Just Charisma. Okay, Charisma. I see it.
What
Look.
name?
Oh, you can't see it. I see the single. Oh my gosh. Wait, look, look. Can you listen? Can you...
What do you do? What do
I
you do?
love this song.
What are
I'm
you
not
doing?
playing it. I was just teasing. I was just teasing. I was just teasing. I was just teasing.
Woman?
So
I
what?
love you so much.
Teasing. I was just
I want to hear it
teasing
too.
because I
You over here
wanted
playing. I'm trying to watch the John. Playing.
Oh, you want to play the video right now?
I'm not right now, but I'm saying, like, go ahead, have the convo with Riz. We get this John.
Okay. I'm really excited
We
because I
talk about
really
the
love
song
this song.
and then
I'm
we
just
play
saying,
the song.
I'm really excited about this song. You wrote it with David Live, so
I
let's talk about
did.
that for a moment.
Yes. So it's funny because Dave and I have been friends for a really long time, and we kept seeing each other at events and stuff, pre-COVID, and we kept saying, you know what, we really need to like collaborate on some music. And then I can't remember what event it was, but I was like, I felt very strongly like, no, for real, we need to collaborate on some music. So he was like, all right, bet, like I'm ready when you are. So we actually started working on this project, which this song will be part of my EP, which will be out later on this year. But we started working on this project right before COVID hit, like literally like right before COVID hit, we were like working, and then COVID hit. So then it was like, okay, like, how are we going to get this done? Not being able to physically be, in the studio working together. So I had a long conversation with Dave, and I reached out to one of my other friends, Bill Jolly, because he knows all the things studio and Dave knows all the things studio. And so I was like, listen, I just need to be able to create at home. Like, I don't need anything fancy. I just need the basics. So, I talked to them and I talked to a few other music folks, and they recommended microphones, and I got a microphone, an interface, and a new computer, and I recorded this song at home.
Oh my
Dave and I were
God,
kind
it's
of going
so
back and
good.
forth. Thank you. We were kind of going back and forth with like what sound I was going for, and I was driving him a little bit crazy because I had like a very particular sound in my head that I wanted. So he was like sending me music, and he sent me like a little clip of what the beginning of what this song would eventually be, and it was like probably 20 to 30 seconds. He was like, this is just a test. I'm just trying to gauge like where you are. I was like, no, 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 like that's it. And I took the 30 seconds that he gave me and literally just wrote the whole song based on that 30 seconds, and was like, I want this part here, this part here, this part here. And then, this song was birthed.
I love it, and it's perfect. And you have a music video and everything that goes with it. And so tell us a little bit about the video.
So the video, much like this song, kind of came about very organically. One of my good friends, his name is Mathino Bay. He's a videographer, but he moved out to the West Coast. So he hit me up like, hey, Riz, I'm in town. And I was like, oh, awesome. He's like, do you still need to shoot something for your music video? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so I said, when are you free? And he's like, tomorrow. And I was like, oh.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we're shooting tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, wheels turning, and I had already done the cover for the music, but I didn't have like a full concept of the video.
Who shot the cover? Who shot the cover? Let's talk about family affairs.
Yes, my awesome brother, who is just artistic and brilliant, and allows me to.
Can you tell people who your awesome brother is?
Yes, his name is Aloysius McElwain. He is an incredible mural artist and just all around creative genius who brings life to paintings and walls through vibrant colors and awesomeness. And so, yeah, I pulled my little sister card and was like, hey, brother, big brother, I need to get some pictures done for this. And he's like, when do you need them done? I was like, 3 days from now. And so he's like, oh my gosh, you're such a little sister. But we made it work. And so it was like a whole family affair. And through the help of mom and my dad, I was like, this is my vision. And they helped me just kind of put it all together. And then that kind of translated into the music video, which a lot of it I just shot like in my mom's garden that she's been cultivating for a very long time. It looks like a fairy garden. And I was like, this is like my spirit. in, you know, like in garden form. So it all just, it kind of worked out and came together. And I'm very happy.
It's brilliantly done. It's beautiful. I just, like, it looks like the real guys did it. So apparently they did.
Yes. Matt definitely knows what he's doing. So, yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So this is what we're going to do.
1 second. My computer's telling me it's going to die. I thought it was plugged in. Apparently not.
Okay, well, no worries, because we're going to go to break. This is the Envy McKee Show. I'm Envy McKee, DJ Frosty Phoenix. We got Rizzy Riz, Charisma McElwain. She is our guest co-host. When we come back, we are going to see and hear the world premiere of Charisma's new song, All In. Guest starring Albert Butler as the love interest.
Yes.
This is a world premiere, y'all. World premiere. So hang on to your everything. We're gonna go pay these bills. When we come back, we'll be black. This is WURD 900 AM 96.1 FM. Peace.
This is not a fad for us.
We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are
Undeniably,
indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media.
WURD.
The WURD Radio Newsletter.
Keeping you informed, engaged, and connected.
Sign up by visiting wordradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio. Messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese. Exclusive articles and multimedia content and resources.
Stay informed
with the WURD Radio Newsletter. WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now.
Tune in on YouTube at onWURD
or on Facebook at ForWord.
WURD TV.
Black Talk Media.
You're listening to the Envy McKee Show.
And then a friend comes to help and play with them. And then that's how you do friendship.
Say it again.
I just hit a lick.
Hello, love. What took you so long to show up? You make every day feel like the weekend. Like springtime, you're like a summer breeze. With you, I wanna go in. You make me wanna dive in. I wanna go all in. You've got me off in the deep end. My feet can't even touch the bottom. is yet to come. I love it how we're growing. Every day feel like the weekend. Like springtime, you're like a summer season. With you, I'm going. You make me wanna dive in. I wanna go all in. You've got me off in the deep end. My feet can't even touch the bottom. For you, I learned to swim. You make me wanna dive in. I wanna go all in. I know it's special what we have now. Everything feels good when you're around, and we don't even have to try. So easy, you and I, you fit so right, and I can't explain this feeling. Always knew your love was evergreen, and I love how our stories unfold. And let's keep exploring. Every day feel like the weekend. Like springtime, you're like a summer season. With you, I wanna go in. You make me wanna dive in. I wanna go in. You've got me off in the deep end. My feet can't even touch the bottom. I learned to swim. You make me wanna dive in. Hello, love. What took you so long to show up?
Yes. Yes. Charisma.
Yes.
Charisma. I have tears in my eyes. It is so great. Oh my God, I love this song so, 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 so much. I love you so much. Like, I've heard the song before. I've seen the video before.
So much.
But I have so much joy because it's such a beautiful summer song. I want everybody in Philly and New York and Jersey to be, you know, now that everybody feels like COVID is over and you run around all willy-nilly without your mask on and all kinds of craziness, please turn this song on as you're at the Platt being ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, just support my sister. Let's get her to the Grammys. You know what I mean? Like, this song is so good. It is so good. It is such a good feel-good song. We need it. I want this to be the song of the summer. I want to play it at every turn. Like, I need a convertible right now just so I can. I don't think Tesla makes the
Put the
convertible,
top
but
down.
you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get a Jeep. We just have to buy a Jeep. That's all that is, just so I can play the song. Listen, it's so good. Like, and I'm fangirling. I'm crying. Like, my favorite people on. Let me bring it in. So I want to know what y'all think of Charisma's song, the world premiere of All In by Charisma. I want to know what you feel about the video. You can drop it in the comments in the Facebook. You can or the wherever, the Twitch or the YouTube. You can also call in if you'd like. You don't have to, but you can. But I want to talk to you, Charisma, like having a single out, coming out of a pandemic, and in the same kind of space that we're talking about our shift prompt for this month, the art of being free, right? You were telling me how, you know, the pandemic hit right when you were about to begin writing. And you were trying to find a way to continue. And we talked about this on the show too. Like how to be an artist when everything is shut down. And there is a sense of freedom that we found, you know, by necessity, that we did not have to be bound to any particular place in order for us to
Right.
express ourselves. So I want you, if you have it, I know you tired, but like tell us, you know, your experience. Like, how do you feel right now having your first COVID creative expression come to the light?
I feel elated on so many levels. Not just because it's coming out of COVID, but just my journey throughout like my whole music career. There's been so many starts and stops. So I think maybe subconsciously that was part of why when we talked before about how hard COVID hit me in the beginning and me really having that block of like not feeling like I was able to get past the block of, you know, to be creative, because it felt like, here we go again, you know? So to get past that and then to have this song that I feel like for me is just an expression of love and happiness and freedom and summer and warmth and newness and beginnings and all of those things, especially coming out of COVID. It just feels amazing. I feel like the timing is perfect. And it's funny because, you know, you talk about listening to spirit all the time, and for me, like, I sometimes get in my own head about my own like time frames of like, no, I have to have this done by this time, and then it was just like spirit was like, chill out, like, we're good. So I feel like all of it is happening within divine time, and the reception so far, just like posting and sharing like clips and, you know, posting the link for where the song is available to stream and purchase has been so overwhelmingly positive and just uplifting. And I'm so grateful, and I'm trying not to cry, but yeah.
Girl, we divine feminine in it right now. So let's talk a little bit about, to me, when I think of the divine feminine, I think of Mother Earth, right? I think of gardens and dirty hands and dirt on your fingernails. I think of, you know, barefoot walks in the forest. I think of hugging trees. I think of, you know, greenery. And I think that your video represents that for me. When I look at it, like your beautiful self with your gorgeous green dress that you have with the slit all the way up to your sidelines. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is the you know, the divine feminine. And I just love the freedom, the love, the joy, just as Deepak was talking about. He was like, self-actualization should be full of joy. And for some reason, we have turned it into something else. And for some people, self-actualization is a way for them to make money off of other people who aren't quite as self-actualized. For some people, self-actualization, it's just a painful, draining process. I don't want to pull my husband into this conversation because he's not here to defend himself, but I do remember having conversations with him where it's just like life can be so draining. And I think that it's important to bring Eric into this conversation because when we talk about the divine feminine, we really talk about women and gorgeousness and fertility and, you know, all of that stuff. But I don't think men have a framework of what, en masse, and particularly I'm going to say black men too, specifically, have an idea of the divine feminine within themselves. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Eric, and I'm going to ask you, when you think of the divine feminine, what you think about, and after hearing what Deepak said, what the divine feminine can be for you. And I really want, you know, I want to focus on freedom, but we're focusing on freedom from the standpoint of connecting with our divine feminine.
So my first thoughts when we were playing that clip and he went through the meditation, I was thinking divine femininity for men, I think, is freedom. And by freedom, I mean we put up a lot of walls, we put up a lot of toughness, we put up a lot of blocking of our emotions, not being able to express how we feel about something. You know, you happy, yeah, it's cool. You can squeal like a girl if you want to, because it's not a girl, it's you just being happy and expressing your emotions.
Listen!
I can think of a lot of times I do it now because I don't care. People know me. Like you're cool with me. Like, or people are cool with me to not necessarily think that way. Outside of like a closed mindset, but I can do those kind of things. And still, that's just Eric. I'm being silly, but that's not a label. You know. But some people feel like I can't do that because I'm not being masculine or whatever. But you can understand that the true balance is flowing through both masculine and feminine. If you have to give them labels, and that's being all of your true self. You can be excited about something. You can cry. You can be happy. You know, just all of the emotions, happy to sad, expressing the whole spectrum. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
Riz, the spectrum.
It's so funny that you say too, because as soon as you started talking about like people basically like not putting labels on things, Eric, and feeling like you don't have to be hyper masculine, I thought of something in particular, and I hope it makes you guys laugh because it was so ridiculous when I saw it. I was just like, okay, so what are men allowed to do? So I'm on the Twitters. I'm on the Twitters, right? And I see this post that went viral where this guy is talking about how his male circle, like his circle of male friends, were not allowed to drink pink lemonade around him because somehow it wasn't masculine enough because it's pink.
Yeah.
And I was just like, so where does the buck stop? Like, at what point, like, what are men allowed to do? Like, are they allowed to just exist as beings and like things, or is that like is that not allowed?
You're not allowed.
But it made me chuckle because I'm like, this is so ridiculous. And someone actually got on Beyonce's internet and tweeted this out for the world to see.
Yeah, and yo, I you know how many conversations I have avoided in that realm because I like, what can you do with people like that? Like, what can you do? Like, there's not a whole lot, and you're not going to be able to convince a man who thinks that manhood is performative that it's not. Just like what we were talking about, that performative goddess thing that people do.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I've seen some people who are genuinely, like, they walk the planet like a fairy with crowns of flowers, and, you know, I'm not telling you who you are or who you should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen some women that just exude this beautiful, glorious, like, they are, like, I don't know what the definition of a woman was, but if whoever thought that, you know, if there was a specific, I have met some people, Charisma, you're one of them people, but I have met some women that just exude like a robust, voluptuous, just sexual, you know, vibe. That's not necessarily, you know, there are lots of goddesses. There are lots of ways to show up as a goddess. You know what I mean? And I think what we do, though, is we make goddess energy something very, like I said, performative, but it's very specific. You have to, but that's part of our cliquey tribal nature as humans. You know, we look for our tribe, and if we don't have one, we'll make one up, and then we'll dress it up. And like I said, I am here for cosplay, but what I'm not here for is the divisiveness that we create around it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's very high school.
And also, if it's cosplay, like, call it cosplay, right?
And do you wear cosplay to sleep? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's the thing. So, like, if we're playing dress up, then just let it be known, like, okay, this is a costume party, so that I can bring the proper attire.
And I think that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so what I'm thinking here is that there is an intersection between fake it till you make it. We're talking about people who have not necessarily done the deep dive to figure out who they truly are. And so there's a fake it till you make it. I want to be a goddess. So let me look like a goddess. And then there's an aspect of, and this is something that, and again, I'm not coming at anyone's neck. This is something that I learned. I used to have this mala, this red mala, and a mala bead is, for those you don't know, they're prayer beads, and you can wear them as some people wear rosaries. They help you, you know, keep the time of your affirmations and your prayers and whatnot. And so used to wear this red mala. I saved up my money to buy this mala. It was very expensive, and it was red coral. They don't even make them anymore, and it was just this very beautiful piece of jewelry that I wore as an expression of my spiritual practice. And so I wore this mala for years, 3, 4, 5 years I wore it. And it got to the point where the mala would enter the room before I did. And it was a way that I could keep my chest out and let people know that I was spiritual. And I was probably more spiritual than you. And what was interesting about what had happened was, that's right, look at my mala, I'm spiritual. So what was interesting was my mala ended up breaking. I could have it restrung. But I remember going, how can I be spiritual without my mala? Like, how will people know that I'm spiritual if I don't have this piece of jewelry? And what was a beautiful unfoldment from that was that I learned that spirituality is not something that you do. It is not something that you wear. It's something that I am. And if I want people to know that I am spiritual to my core, then I need to show up honest. I need to show up that way. So that way, whether I'm wearing a mala or not, my inherent connection to the divine shows up before I do. That I am glowing with God everywhere I go, even if people don't know what that is. They're just like, right. Oh, you bright. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's right. Yeah. And so I don't wear a mala anymore. I have a whole show on spirituality, so I don't know what to do about that. But that's my little nugget. We're gonna go pay these bills as I hear the music. I want to talk more with you, Charisma, and I want to talk more with you, Eric, about freedom through the divine feminine. And we'd like to take some of your calls. How do they do that, Eric?
Dialing 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900, or comment on our Facebook Live via WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube and Twitch if you stretch that far.
Okay. This is the Envy McKee Show. I'm Envy McKee, DJ Frosty Phoenix. Our guest host with the mostest is Charisma. She's got a brand new single that we debuted. You got to make sure you go listen. Like right now, I am down. I'm all in buying it right now on Apple Music. All in. Let me double click. You can do it too. This is the song of the summer. We're getting her to the Grammys. You understand what I'm saying? Our goal, our intention on this show is to make sure that Charisma's song and David Live's song All In is nominated and potentially wins a Grammy this year or next year, whenever the Grammys are. Okay? That's what we're doing. That's our intention. Grammys. We all going to the Grammys so we can broadcast live from the Grammys. You see what I'm saying? All right. This is WURD 900 AM 96.1 FM. We'll be black.
For the past 10 years, Comcast has been helping students get ready. We've connected 5 million students from low-income families to low-cost, high-speed internet. We're working with both nonprofit partners and city leaders to create over 1,000 Wi-Fi connected lift zones in community centers nationwide. And now we're committing $1 billion to reach 50 million people with the connectivity, skills, training, and the resources they need to succeed in a digital world. Learn more at comcast.com/education.
Coping-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
With everything going on, there may be times you feel like you can't handle it all. Journaling, meditating, and talking with friends and family can help you feel more grounded and better able to cope. Your kids are also going through a lot of new experiences, and simply talking with them about their feelings can be quite powerful.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now.
Tune in on YouTube at onWURD
or on Facebook at ForWord.
WURD TV.
Black Talk Media.
You're listening to the Envy McKee Show.
Mornings rough. Did I wear braces for long enough? It sucks. I'm overly critical, so sick of typical me. My TV said make your eyebrows thin. I pulled them all out, now things baking. I can't win. I'm overly critical, so sick of typical me. I hide the freckles above my knee. 'Cause I'll be whatever they wanna see. But then I'll tell myself, you can't looking like a stranger. Yeah, why would you ever wanna change your freckles? Hey, you know you're beautiful and you. Why would you listen to the loser? Why would you ever wanna lose your freckles? You know you're beautiful. Yup, got full-blown acne at 22. My year's been dope, thanks, and how about you? Woohoo! I'm overly critical, so sick of typical me. I hide the freckles above my.
Yes. Welcome back to the MVP Show. MVP, DJ Frosty Phoenix. Our guest host for tonight is Charisma. She is an actress. She doesn't say she's a model, but she's a model. If you've seen her, you know she's a model. If you've seen her pictures, she is a model.
If you see her right now, you know she's a model.
That's right. She's a model. She's a producer. She is a writer. But most importantly, right now, what we are celebrating tonight is the fact that she's a singer and a songwriter. She's a musician. She wrote this beautiful song with David Live called All In. Behind the scenes, we were talking about just how well made the video is. And Erica was asking her, what her process was. We didn't even ask any of that. So you just say all that stuff that you just said again.
Oh,
all this stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Saying that you didn't have a treatment for it.
No, I did not have a treatment. I literally found out the day before we started filming, and we filmed total, I don't know how many hours it was total, but we filmed over the course of like 2 days. No, 3 days, I'm sorry. Over the course of 3 days. Some of the stuff we shot the first day. It was really funny because if you see the album cover art, I did that in this tub that my mom actually had as a planter, and I had this idea like we should spray paint it and then like do something cool with flowers because the song talks about summer and spring. I was like, if we could just do that, that'd be great. Because initially I wanted to do something because I was like all in. You've got me off in the deep end. Initially I wanted to do something in the tub but with water, but it was like 50 degrees outside, so I said, the way my anemia is set up, what we're not going to do is get hypothermia. So let's figure something else out. And then because I just love all things flowers, and my mom's garden was just, there inspiring me, we went that direction. But yeah, like I found out that my friend Matt could shoot. And so I stayed up all night the night before just kind of thinking about like, oh, well, what can we do? But so much of it was very much like we started shooting and then I'd be like, oh, why don't we try this? What do you think about that? And he just went with the flow. He's like, yeah. And then he started interjecting ideas like, why don't we try this? And I'm like, cool. And then it came together into what it is now. So
that's a sign of true creatives. That's a sign of true creatives being able to make something out of nothing.
I missed that. I missed that. I loved, one of the things that I loved about being a singer, being in the music industry was that collaborative. Mm-hmm. It was built in. It was baked in. Yes. Collaboration was baked in. So I love that. And I that's what I love about this show. It is that. You know what I'm saying? We do that with conversation.
Very collaborative, for sure. But it's interesting. I've had experiences in the music business, like trying to collaborate that were completely like polar opposite of what this experience was. This experience was absolutely beautiful from start to finish. Like it just,
you could tell there was love in it. The song,
I couldn't ask for a better, like it just, And I was so nervous when I started recording this because I've like recorded stuff at home before, but not like professionally in the sense where I was going to like put this out in the world. So I'm like trying to hear these harmonies in my head and trying to engineer at the same time. It was like kind of funny. Like a few moments I laughed at myself because I was trying to like stop and start at certain spots and it just was not working. But I figured it out.
I don't think people understand that sometimes when you listen to like beautiful songs and you might wonder like what that really sounds like from the process. Like, oh, when you hear the finished product, of course it sounds great, but you don't realize that when you're making the song, that song starts out like, and like before you start adding extra notes in there, you know. So
it's actually funny because when I first started writing it, most of my songs start as like a melody. Like I'll hear something and then the melody will inspire like a feeling. Like certain music makes you feel a certain way. So it's like, what is this song making me feel? And so it started off as a melody, and I use voice memes like it's my job. So I have like, I don't know how many voice memes where I'm just humming stuff into like my phone, right? Like, this might work itself out into a song. And so I did that initially, and then the very first version of this song that I did, I recorded into my Apple like iPhone headphones, like, and I was using the headphone part that you like use to talk as a microphone because I didn't have like an actual microphone, but I had to get it out of my head in some form that was going to be tangible. And then, you know, later I got the good mic.
And we're going to talk
so
about
you didn't get all the snap, crackle, pop.
Like that, like when you do that, it actually makes you look like when people do that. That looks low key cool. Like you look like a secret agent, low key important. And I'm mad Apple took that away and gave you like the AirPods. Like, but talking into the mic thing was like, you know.
2-4, yes, they're approaching. Okay, to the mic, yes. Okay,
Mayday.
Right.
Mayday.
You could, if you didn't know, you could click the mic, I think, on and off with the click thing, so you actually get like,
and you know. And so I was getting all the snap, crackle, pop. It was Rice Krispies all up and through my original session.
Understanding, folks, that the process to making beautiful music comes with extra sounds, pots dropping in the background, your cat scratching something, or you know, the wind opening a window that you didn't mean for while you hit record, and you know.
I had a guest star on the first few takes I did of the song. My studio room is right by this tree, and the birds were like getting busy. Like they were arguing about things, they were fighting about things, and they wanted to be on the song. And I just was like, this is a solo effort, you know.
You changed the key to my nest? This is my nest. What you mean this is my nest? But you changed the key to my nest. I pay the bills on this nest.
Right. I need y'all to bring it down. You need to simmer. And eventually they simmered because my mic was picking up everything. Like that's the thing about a good mic. It was picking up
you can hear people having conversations next week with
yes, that's what
what
was happening
around the corner and next week. That's right. Listen. So Nakia Murray, if you recall from earlier in the show, Nakia Murray from VTalks, she just texted me. And she said that she created a coupon code for our listeners to save on products and appointments. And that coupon code is ENVY. So if you're listening to this show and you're interested in getting for your wife, your daughter, your mother, yourself, a steaming appointment or any of the products or services that VTalks offers, if you use the code ENVY, you get a discount. That's divine feminine right there.
To be a little annoying, is it ENVY in all caps or capital ENVY?
Well, she said capital ENVY. So
there you go. Capital ENVY. Get that discount.
Get that discount. Get that discount. Okay.
Why do we
Charisma, I want you because we're both Sages, and that is what we do. Everything is show tunes. Everything is show tunes. So I'm really excited about your song. I'm really excited about your video. I'm really excited about the Grammys. But I'm also like, because that's happening. I said it, it's already done. So you are going to understand the power of the word, not my word.
Yes.
Thy will be done.
Yes.
So saying that to say, like, is there an intention that you have, if you're thinking in terms of freedom right now? Is there something that is on your heart, on your spirit? Is there something that you're working on with your music? Is there a spiritual principle? Is there something that is on, like, when you're thinking of freedom and the path to being free, is there something on your mind that you would like to share in this realm? Because when we come back from break, Dr. Carol Penn is going to be with us, and we're going to be talking about freedom as a consciousness.
Ooh. I think throughout this process, my version of freedom was just being my most authentic self as a creative. And so I didn't want, even the conversations that I was having with Dave when we first started this, it was like, I don't want to be bound by a specific genre. Like, so much of the music business is like, okay, so this is your look and this is your sound. So this is how you're classified. I just wanted to have the freedom to create something that felt like it was authentic to me, and things that I hoped would resonate with other people and move them in a way, whatever the subject matter is, but make them feel something, So I wanted the freedom to do that without having to confine it with anything. And I think that's when artists are able to create their best art, when they are just when they don't put restrictions on themselves, when they just allow the creativity to flow through them and to come out in whatever way it comes out. And so that's what I try to do for this song, and that's what my goal is for this project, just to allow myself to be a vessel or a conduit for creativity in my most authentic self, and that whatever is created from that will resonate with people in a way that is positive. So yes, that's my intent.
I love it. So I'm not trying to get ahead of it, because we are going to relish in the gorgeousness of this song. But you said there's an EP, so I'm just wondering what the other songs, if you leave with this, I'm just saying. How many more songs do we have to come?
I don't know. I have written so many songs. At this point, I'm literally just trying to figure out what makes the most sense in terms of this as a project, because with every project I do, whether it's music or TV or whatever it is, I always like to tell a story. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out what songs go best with this collection of short stories. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I do have a song in mind that I'm going to go with for the next single, but that could change by, I don't know, 11 o'clock tonight. I don't know.
Sure could. Yeah. Because that's how we Sagittarius do.
That's the Sagittarius. Yeah, I was going to say that's the
Sagittarius.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so with that in mind, we are going to go pay these bills. When we come back, as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Carol Penn will be joining us, as she often does on Second Fridays. She is such a treat, by the way, Charisma. And Dr. Carol, we're going to be talking about freedom as a consciousness, and then at some point she's going to lead us in a meditation. So that's going to be a nice treat. This is the MV McKee Show. I'm MV McKee, DJ Frosty Phoenix. We got Charisma in the building. This is WURD 996.1 FM. We'll be black.
Do you have what it tastes to solve Hers Flavor Mix Mystery? One chip, 3 classic Hers flavors, thousands of possible combinations. Pick up a bag of Hers Flavor Mix Mystery and make your guess online today. Your guess could win you $10,000 and a year's supply of Hers. Visit Hers on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more info on how to enter. Solve the mystery. Break out the Hers. No purchase necessary. Legal residents of the 50 United States, DC, 18 years of age and older. Ends 8/31/21. To enter and for official rules, including odds and prize descriptions, visit campaign.rtm.com/Hers Flavor Mix Mystery / void where prohibited.
Want the latest in Word swag? Check out the shop tab on WURDradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on WURDradio.com. Show the world that you're all about black. Talk Media.
lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media. WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Envy's evolution is the Envy McKee Show.
Hey, we're Philly's own Kindred, the family soul.
Hey, what's up? This is Kevin Carr.
Hey, this is Lady Alma.
This is Greg.
And Halana.
And we are the Woke Bays.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Genuine right here on the Envy McKee Show. Now, always stay tuned.
Join the Envolution exclusively on WURD.
You're like a summer breeze with you. I wanna go away. You make me wanna dive in. I wanna go away. You've got me off in the deep end. My feet can't even touch the bottom. But for you, I learned as soon as you make me wanna dive in. I wanna go away. You got me floating on a high. Ever since you've come around me, and I'm so interested in exploring where we're going. You make every day feel like the weekend. Like springtime, you're like a summer breeze. With you, I wanna go away. You make me wanna dive in. I wanna go away.
Yes, I forgot to mention that.
Yes, welcome back to the Envy McKee Show. Envy McKee, DJ Frosty Phoenix, Charisma. Huh? What'd you say?
But I completely forgot to mention that my friends over at Fox actually played part of the video this morning on air.
That's good. And you're going to be on the cover of, where are you going to be in the cover tomorrow?
The cover of the Philadelphia Sunday Sun, so it's actually out today. I can show you because I have a copy because my awesome boss brought me some physical hard copies. Yeah, they did a whole story.
Who did the story? Who interviewed you?
They did the whole story. Monica. She has a show there. She does a couple of different columns there. And yeah, we had a nice conversation. We also did Moni Jones. We did a virtual interview as well as the one for the paper. And so we talked about music, my journey in music, which has been interesting. And then we talked about the song and like the whole creative process. So it's pretty rad.
Yes, cover. Yes, on Good Day. Yes, I love it. Yeah. So, and you should be, because you're so talented and you're so good.
They call me a songbird.
So, this is the part of the show where we would like to invite on, because it is Second Tuesday. And so with Second Tuesdays, we like to invite Dr. Carol Penn to be with us because she's so amazing. And when I tell you, Dr. Carol is all of the things. She is a metaphysician and she's an actual physician. You know what I'm saying? She has a background in dance and in science. She is the living embodiment of Dr. Lara, who shows up in book 2, one of the characters of my book in book 2. Like, she's all the things. When I tell you that she is a Reiki master and she is all like a Reiki, it's like she does meditations, she mind-body medicine. She's a health and wellness and a fitness coach. She is an artistic director of a dance ministry. Like, she's all of the things. And when I talk about the embodiment, the wholeness, the divine feminine, and a path to freedom, we could not have this conversation without Dr. Carol Penn. So if you would please give us a big, very ginormous, divine feminine round of applause for Dr. Carol Penn in the building.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I love it when you're here.
I love being here. I love the excitement. I love tonight's topic, divine femininity, the divine feminine, freedom. My goodness, glorious.
Yes. Yes. And you said on your show that the topic, the theme for this month is freedom too, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
God be knowing.
Well, you know, it's so special because, you know, this month, the energetic imprint of Juneteenth. I mean, can you imagine what it must have been like to receive word that you were free, that you were no longer being held in bondage? And what that might have meant to hear that for the first time. You mean when I walk out this door, I don't have to go in that field and stand under the eye of someone who might then beat me or whip me because I didn't move fast enough. You mean I could go, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about with you specifically freedom as a consciousness. We have been talking about the divine feminine as a path, a portal, if you will, to freedom. We have been talking about, the different ways, really focus on the divine feminine today. I loved how Deepak Chopra was talking about self-actualization should be joyful. And the fact that it isn't is because we do not embrace or respect the divine feminine and just feminine energy in general. Like, we don't. And I just also want to say out loud that when we're talking about the divine feminine, we're not talking from a gender standpoint. Like, you can be however you identify gender-wise. You can have a vagina and not consider yourself a woman. Like, we are, like, we're talking about just an energy, a vibration. You know what I mean? So if you can talk to us a little bit about consciousness and what a divine feminine consciousness would be, and even further, what a freedom consciousness looks like.
Oh, my goodness. Well, first of all, to have that energetic imprint of freedom, you have to receive that. You have to believe on that. You have to understand that you are free. That's an understanding. That's a practice. And so many of us do not understand that. So we continue the energetic imprint of an enslavement. And again, you don't have to be in a black body to be enslaved. Again, it's a consciousness. It is a consciousness. You know, Harriet Tubman said it so well. I could have freed even more, except they didn't know they were slaves. You know, so they couldn't own it. They couldn't step into it. You know, they were mired in a consciousness that didn't even allow them to see it. And that's what we see reflected today. People that are mired in they don't even understand what freedom is. And they don't understand what their options are. So they, you know, we're under these illusions. You know, we get confused because so many of us are serving. So it's like we're trying to serve multiple gods. And so for what I mean by that is that, well, you know, someone's, you know, upset. They're mad. They're upset with their partner, and I don't. You know, I can't tolerate this marriage anymore. They're upset and they're stressed and they're burnt out by their job. Oh, and the requirements of their job and the ever-changing, what seems like what's always being piled onto the job description, the requirements of the job, and then being overburdened by what they have to do at the job, and then coming home to a relationship that they're not happy in, parenting or trying to parent children that they're not happy about parenting, you know, the pressure, the stress, the demands of all the roles we play. I always tell people, when you get to that point of frustration, when you get to that point of overwhelm, step back and ask yourself, you know, really, who and what are you trying to serve? You know, what are you confused? You're trying to serve all these things, and you're holding these things above your head as, you know, as if they're real. So I'll give you an example. The medical field is rife with burnout, moral injury, and my colleagues are committing suicide at a rate higher than the national average. And one of the things, in the beginning of the day, there's something called a huddle. And during the huddle, you're supposed to go over, review your patient day, review, you know, look at, have the team look at the patient day. They look at the labs. They look at the prior authorizations that they have to do. They look at the phone calls that need to be made, the course, and you know, before you've seen the first patient, you're overwhelmed. Instead of there being 20 patients on the schedule, there are 40. You're like, how am I going to see all these patients, do all these things, and get it all done well? So you're already, your shoulders up in your ear, your gut is churning, you feel like you're going to throw up, you're exhausted, you haven't done the first thing, not to mention you just, you know, left away from the dissatisfied home life and the upset parenting, the upset. So I would start my huddle with having everybody take a breath, breathe together. Let's come into right now. I would say, reach out your right hand. Your right hand represents your past, and that's over. But you're worried about that. Even, you know, trying to get here from home to work, that's already done. Reach out your left hand. That's your future. It hasn't happened yet, but you anticipating what's going to happen after work already and what's going to happen, and then trying to second guess the weekend. Hasn't gotten here yet. And I would have everybody bring your hands together, and when your palms meet, bring your palms in front of your heart. This is where we're going to meet. We're going to meet in our breath, in our present moment right now, because this moment, this right now, is the only thing that we can possibly shift. This is where transformation happens. Now take a breath, and take your next breath, and take one more breath. And I would say, you know, that job description and that big long list, which you're supposed to do, guess how many patients you can see at a time? The answer is one. And when you worry about, you know, this new policy you have to sign and the ever-changing electronic medical record, and I say, guess what? Guess how many bosses do you have? How many do you feel like everybody is your boss? You know, and all this. I said, you've got one boss. It's not me as the team leader. And the boss that you have, or what you should be looking to serve, is called love. The job description that you should be looking to fulfill is called love. And then the person that you should be looking to love is called you. Look in the mirror, love yourself, love each other, and love your patient. And that's all you have. You just have to, just that one word. That's it. That's it. And if you do that, the day is going to end. And guess what? More than the prior authorizations that you followed up on, the labs that you followed up, or the medications that were prescribed, if any person you encounter today goes away feeling loved in your presence, you also have performed a miracle. And nobody can ask any more than that of anyone.
Now, if I heard you correctly, that gorgeous story is that love, freedom, consciousness.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because it frees you up. It frees you up. You're suddenly all that other is words on a paper, and it's titles, people's titles. We get all caught up in that. We worry about, the job evaluation, and we think we're serving the boss. We're serving the demands of the job. We're serving a partner. We're serving our children. Forget all that. That's where you get overwhelmed, and that's where you become imprisoned. That's where you become. You step into an enslavement when you are trying to meet and fulfill expectations which are fundamentally impossible for you to satisfy.
We're not talking about love as a namby-pamby, ooey-gooey emotion. We're talking about love as a dynamic.
As
love
a dynamic, embodied empowerment, the actualization and the extreme ownership of self.
I need to write all this down. Actualization and extreme ownership of self.
Yes.
Ooh. And we do, I say it this way, because I get it, but how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you serve love in a meaningful way? Like, how? And I know Jason says, Reverend Jason, he always says the how is the practice, but I just wonder if there is a practical way that we can serve love and serve the actualization and the extreme ownership of ourselves. I wonder.
Well, I really do. So when I shared, reach out your right hand, there's your past, reach out your left hand, there's your future, bring your palms together in front of your heart, let's meet in the present moment, take your next breath. It is those simple moves and that practice, when you take your breath, that is, again, a physical embodiment that the universe says, you were something. I'm going to breathe life into you in this moment. And then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Pay attention to that. Put your mind on that and understand that I am saying the great I am is acknowledging your worthiness to be on the planet, that you are not separate, that you are not alone. You might be laboring under the illusion of isolation and separateness, but I am. Start there with that realization of the tremendous infusion of energy, of breath, as spirit, as love, as your very life.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So I'm wondering, Dr. Carol, as you often do on Second Fridays when you join us, if when we come back from break, you would guide us in a meditation.
I would love to. And can I ask people when they come back to bring a piece of paper and a pen with them? Because when we come out of this guided meditation, I'd like people to write down the first thoughts that come to them.
Okay, let's do it. I have my handy Star People journal and my pen.
Hey.
Charisma, you got your pen and your journal?
Yeah.
She's on mute, but when she comes back, she's not going to be on mute. So this is what we're going to do. She got her journal. I see it. I seal it. So we have Dr. Carol Penn on the line. She is a regular on this show. Eric is going to tell us what her dean name is because I'm not looking at it right now. But let me tell you something. Dr. Carol is not to be trifled with. She is amazing. And she's going to lead us in a guided meditation about freedom consciousness.
She's the Dean of Spiritual Legacy.
The Dean of Spiritual Legacy, and it just hits different when just as we're talking about it. And I think that it's powerful if we're going to have going into break and coming back, if we really bring with us how we feel about love. Because Dr. Carol literally just said in so many words that freedom consciousness is love consciousness. So that makes love the most powerful change agent we can have. And love is something that we are inherently. So if we ain't free, let's have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean. This is the Envy McKee Show. I'm Envy McKee, DJ Frosty Phoenix. We got the Charisma. We got the Dr. Carol Penn. We gonna go pay these bills because this is WURD 900 AM 96.1 FM. We'll be what? We'll be black. What? We'll be black. Black. We'll be black. That's right. As Charisma said.
Be sure to remember to renew your membership between now and June 19th at $75. That's right, $75. The early bird membership, $75 between now and June 19th. Visit WURDradio.com and take advantage of this opportunity. That's early bird membership, $75. Father's Day is coming up. For all the Word Radio fathers, uncles, grandfathers, brothers, we say Happy Father's Day. In keeping with the spirit of Juneteenth, Word Radio wants to make sure all black men are aware of the importance of colon cancer screening. It can save your life. In partnership with the Colorectal Cancer Alliance, the Independence Blue Cross Foundation, Penn Medicine, and LabCorp, Word Radio reminds our listeners that the Go to Know campaign provides free, at-home colon cancer screening tests. Simply go to wordradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner. Submit your information, and a screening navigator will contact you directly. After a quick survey, if you qualify, they will mail a free screening kit to you. It's that easy and takes less than 10 minutes. So dads, uncles, brothers, grandfathers, cousins, go to wordradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
You're listening to the Envy McKee Show.
Welcome back to the Envy McKee Show. Envy McKee, DJ Frosty Phoenix, Seek. Penn in the building. She's a metaphysician. She is also a physician. She is a Reiki master, a meditation master. She is with us. She is on every second Friday. And so she is going to meditation that is steeped in freedom consciousness, but understanding that freedom consciousness is love consciousness, which is blowing my mind, even though it's something that I've known and articulated, but it just lends the power in what love actually is. And so I'm going to stop talking and let Dr. Carol take it away, because that's what she be doing.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm inviting everyone who is listening to allow yourself to come into a comfortable position. Now, mind you, if you're driving, please keep your hands on the wheel and the eyes on the road. Everyone else, I invite you to find a comfortable position, either seated, lying down, or even standing. And with your next breath, I want you to activate the energetic imprint of the sacred geometry of the body, the holy trinity of mind, body, and spirit. So from the bottom of your feet, I want you to envision your arches, the arches of your feet lifting up. So you see that shape. You see that triangular shape. Breathe in, breathe out. Draw the energy up from the soles of your feet right to the perineum and the base of the spine, and that's that base of that pubic area there, right between your urethra, or where the urine comes out, and your feces. There's the perineum, and I want you to imagine the sacred geometry of that area, lifting up, lifting in and up, almost as if you're trying to stop the flow of urine. Don't hold it in a tight way, because I want you to be able to relax it, but be aware of that. With your next breath, breathe in, breathe out, and draw in and up, letting the tip of the tongue come to rest against the back of the upper row of teeth. And as you become aware of the inside of the roof of your mouth, see that archway, that dome, that sacred geometry of mind, body, and spirit there reflected in yet another area of the body. And finally, this fourth archway or gateway, right from the inside of the skull at the crown of the head. And that final dome there it is. There is that connection to all that is greater than yourself. And breathe in, breathe out the truth of that, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And understand that as we take these breaths, we are, my beloveds, on the eve of making the most powerful collective decision that we can make as humankind. This may well be mankind's last chance to choose between chaos and community. Are we going to choose the chaos of continued enslavement, or are we choosing the freedom of beloved community? Are we choosing the enslavement of hatred? Are we choosing the freedom way, the freedom practice of love? And now, there where you are, eyes closed, breath flowing, I want you to travel through time to a time and a place where you felt free. Free in all ways. Free in mind, body, and spirit. There's that sacred geometry again, that triangular space, the domes of the body. Think about where, when, and how. Maybe it was in this lifetime. Maybe it's in an imaginary lifetime. Maybe it's from the distant past, or maybe it has yet to arrive in the future. But let's take a moment, and I want you to settle on a place. If more than one comes to mind, it doesn't matter. But be there and receive those messages. And if at any time you become uncomfortable doing this, you can stop the imagery and simply open your eyes and just rest, relax, and be. But now, beloved, go ahead and look around. Look around, look down. What is on your feet? Are you barefoot? Are there shoes on your feet? What is the texture of the ground upon which you are standing? What do you see on your feet? Look a little higher. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you feeling? What are you tasting? What's arising? Look around you. Are you alone? Or are others there? Impressions, sounds, color, animal friends, people, images. And as you experience this freedom in mind, body, and spirit, what else do you need to bring into this experience with you to make it complete? To make it complete. Look around you, take this all in, and understand that you can come back to this place, this sensation, this feeling of love, freedom, or freedom, love, at any time, any moment you want to. It is as close as your next breath, as close as your next heartbeat. And on the count of 5, when I say 5, I'd like you to open your eyes and begin to write down your impressions about this place, your impressions about this freedom, your impressions about what your beloved community could look like. And remember, as you are coming back, you also lean back, lean into this a little bit. And if you can feel a sensation of being held, understand that's your ancestors holding you and supporting you and giving you strength for the journey. And say, we are here. We love you. We see you. We are supporting you. Breathe in on 1. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes, moving in a way that feels good to you right now. Breathe in, breathe out on 2. Beginning to make the journey back into the room that you're in this time-space continuum. Breathe in, breathe out on 3. Coming a little bit closer to the surface. Breathe in, breathe out on 4. Feeling yourself awake, and it feels good to stretch. Go ahead and do so now. Opening your heart, opening your body, opening your mind and spirit to these sensations of freedom, love, and love, freedom. And finally, on 5, opening your eyes with a little smile on your face. And whatever you saw, whatever your experiences, capture it now. If you've got something, just to go ahead, first thought, best thought, and just give yourself 30 seconds to write. Just let the pen fly across the paper. This is kinesthetic, so using a pen is great as you just let the pen, the hand, and the arm move. And we are back. We are back. We are back. Just go ahead, jot down your thoughts, while they are there. This can be ephemeral. These things, these impressions can vanish quite quickly. And if you notice them, there can be deep wisdom and information that will help you find your way. And sometimes a day and age when there seems and feels like that there is no way. It is your North Star. This is your path to freedom. This is you traveling on your own underground railroad to where you can truly be and have freedom in every day and in every moment of your life.
Dr. Carol. Turn this back on. Ooh. Dr. Carol. Welcome back to the Envy McKee Show. That was our guided meditation with Dr. Carol Penn. How do you feel, Charisma? You girl.
There's a lot
must have
happening
been feeling
over here,
good.
and I was, there's a lot happening over here. I was trying to keep it quiet. But
Okay, that's fine.
I feel really good.
Yeah. Have you ever done a meditation on the air live?
I have not.
So
First time. But I'm a big fan of guided meditation in general, and I thought that was wonderful. So thank you.
Yes. How about you, Eric?
You can't answer that question. I got make sure y'all guided and the sound gets out good. I don't have the moment to sit down and actually take that in. Although it was very lovely as always, Dr. Penn.
Oh, thank you. It's an oasis in the middle of the day when things are getting crazy. It's like if you can go sit in your car, wherever it is that you can just step away and say, I'm going to tune out and I'm going to tap in and I'm going to realize the truth of who I am in a moment here, and then I'm going to come back to myself and do what I need to do.
Yeah. And I think it's powerful and important. Like I meditate, and Charisma you that I ask her if she's meditated. You can kind of, but but meditation is going to be different for everyone. And Dr. Carol, can you speak to the importance of finding a practice that works for you? Because if we are determining that freedom is a function of love, right? Because you're saying that love frees us up, and the divine feminine is a pathway to love. And the divine feminine is not male or female. It is an aspect of our inherent self. Can you speak to what having a meditation practice does in freeing up that space? You know what I'm saying? That people don't.
Absolutely. And you said something very key. You have to find what works for you. You have to find what works for you. So I was throwing in with that particular one some visualization and imagery. So, look around. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you tasting? What are you hearing? And that often works beautifully for people who struggle with the more contemplative practices. Most people find that accessible, and what's so beautiful, you could be listening to a guided imagery, and even if you drift off and fall asleep, your ear is still hearing that, and you can derive benefit from it even if you're not conscious. So it's a beautiful practice to get you some guided imagery and listen to those guided imageries. Lots of good recordings out there that you can get, anything from 3 minutes to 45 minutes or an hour. The other thing is there's concentrative meditation where you are repeating a word or a mantra. Think about chanting. The brain loves repetition and it loves chanting. And this is one of the reasons why, people are so drawn to that, or, you're singing a particular song, and why we love refrain. And what's a refrain? It's the same set of words that repeats over and over and over again. The brain resonates with that. So some people will be drawn to that type of settling and that type of practice. Other people are going to be more drawn to contemplative movements like a yoga practice or like Tai Chi or Qigong. And it all puts mind, body, and spirit in a relaxed state of awareness. That's the definition of meditation. So you can be an active meditator, which usually involves movement. You can be a quiet meditator, which that usually involves the concentrative meditation, repeating of a mantra, or even focusing on your breath. Or you could be someone who's not doing a classic approach to meditation at all, but you are tapping into the power that's available to us through guided imagery. And if you, and so you say, oh, I like that. That resonates with me. It took me 20 years before I could sit down on a meditation cushion. I was an active, I needed active meditation. I needed active approaches. And that was my way in to be able to get into my own tap root, so I could go deep into the source and get, channeled down deep toward the center of that power of Mother Earth and the divine feminine, and also that tap root that would send me heavenward into the divine masculine, so I could really balance the divinity of myself, the masculine aspects as well as the feminine aspects.
Yes, and all of the yeses. So I guess my final question in this realm with you, what do we say to the men who are listening, who I feel like, I want to say it this way. I feel like because we don't embrace or respect or view anything feminine as worthy and valuable, there are a lot of men walking this planet pent up, as Charisma so astutely pointed. I don't know if we talked about it on the air or behind the scenes, but they're hemmed up because everything that is considered soft, like pink for some reason, is considered, non-masculine. And so I'm wondering if you could speak briefly to the men about why embracing the inherent divine feminine in them is going to change their lives for the better and free them up. If
the most powerful people in the world, whether they are male or female, and the ones that are able to sustain that power are able to embrace both. So in men, my message to you would be to love on that part of yourself that is feminine. It's so important that God gave you estrogen. You don't just have testosterone, but you also have estrogen.
Big toe of Doc.
So you need to understand and love that part of yourself and welcome that part of yourself. If you are trapped, if you are enslaved, if you cannot get out of your own way, maybe it's because you're not loving all of who you are. You don't understand that you're a king, and then to understand your kingship, you have to find your queen, and your queen is there within your own heart. That's like saying, to not embrace and love your divine feminine as a man is like saying, I'm only going to recognize one half of my heart. And you know what you get if you only living with a half a heart? It's called you dead. You need both half of you. You need both half of your heart to beat together.
That's not even a heart attack. You're not alive.
You're not alive.
But that is a beautiful metaphor. Or not alive. Yeah, but that's a beautiful metaphor for what we're talking about and why the planet looks like it does. When you have an overrun of one kind of energy, there's no balance to check it. There's no juice. So we're literally running on one half of a heart. And that's why things look like they do. But it's not the way.
And that is why we and the planet are dying.
Listen.
We are on the precipice of extinction, as a human species as we literally are choking the life out of this planet. There is no planet B. So we keep messing this up. It's not going to make any, because as a human species, we're going to become extinct. And we must, it is imperative that, as in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, we can either choose chaos or community. And, you know, it's entirely up to us. It's entirely up to us. Because there is such a thing as too late. The theme of the show tonight talks about the fierce urgency of now. We have to, in this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. Procrastination is still the theft of time. Life often leaves us standing bare naked and dejected with a loss to opportunity. The tide in the affair of men does not remain at the flood, it ebbs. We may cry out desperately for time to pause in her passage, but time is deaf to every plea and rushes on. Over the bleached bones and jumbled residuals of numerous civilizations are written the pathetic words, too late. So I invite all of the men to reflect on that, because there could come, and that time is nigh. Too late, too late, too late. But if you do it right now, reach out your right hand, reach out your left hand, bring the palms together and bring them in front of your heart. There we go, the masculine and the feminine. Bring it together in front of the heart. Love first and foremost yourself. Love yourself. Now. The fierce urgency of now, in this moment, in this, that's all we have, is right now. And it has to be, and how do we get our hands in front of our heart? You have to do the left hand and the right hand. The two halves of the heart must come together. When? Now.
Dr. Carol Penn, as usual, you shut this down. Thank you so much for being here. How do we reach you? Somebody wants to consult with you, they want to talk to you, whatever it is. How do we get in touch with you?
Listen, hop on over to my website, www.drcarolpenn.com, DrCarolpenn.com, on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Come on over to Facebook, Dr. Carol Penn, Medicine is my movement. Movement is my medicine. I said it first. On Facebook, movement, Dr. Carol Penn, movement is my medicine. And 8 a.m., my special guests this weekend are going to be talking about freedom in mind, body, and spirit, including financial health and financial freedom. So we're going to take the journey live there, and it's live, it's participatory. I love doing that. So come check it out. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all those good things on social media at Dr. Carol Penn, DrCarolPenn.
All right, Dr. Carol Penn on the MV McKee Show. We love you, Doc. We'll see you next month. Second Friday. This is the MV McKee Show.
Love you.
I love you. Juneteenth.
I love you.
Love you, Mama. This is the MV McKee Show. MV McKee, DJ Frosty Phoenix, Charisma, the singer, the illustrious. We're going to go pay these bills when we come back, as we often do. We're going to go around the room and find out what we learned. This is WURD. We'll be black.
In 2019, the Pennsylvania Juneteenth Initiative hosted the largest Juneteenth parade and festival in the history of America, attracting over 25,000 participants. Join us and WURD for a live broadcast on Saturday, June 19th, 9 a.m. at 52nd and Haverford, the Spectrum Healthcare Building. Then join the march to Malcolm X Park in support of making Juneteenth a national holiday. Meet and greet WURD personalities, support black vendors, and let your voice be heard. See you Saturday, June 19th, 9 a.m. at 52nd and Haverford. Juneteenth.
The WURD Radio newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting WURDradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio, messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources. Stay informed with the WURD Radio newsletter.
You're listening to the Envy McKee Show.
Welcome back to the Envy McKee Show. Envy McKee, DJ Frosty Phoenix, Charisma in the building. We got to celebrate Charisma and her new single, All In. We got to watch world premiere her video on the show, all of those things. And I'm so grateful that you chose to be here when you could have been anywhere in the world, like your bed and sleeping, and you chose to be here co-hosting tonight's show with us. Go around the room and find out what we learned. And since you are our special guest, we can start with you. Did you learn anything today?
I think I was just reminded today of the importance of celebrating accomplishments, number one, because that was something I struggled with for a little bit. Just like honestly, just taking in moments where you've been able to get to a certain point in your life. Like that's something I was reminded to do tonight. And it felt really good to be able to celebrate something that made me so happy with folks that I love, like in real life. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And the importance of that during meditation, too, because that was also a reminder.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back on my meditation kick. I really am. So, yeah.
Girl.
I'm trying.
And what about you, Eric?
Gender is fluid, and basically the spectrum is something you should accept all throughout yourself.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's interesting as she was saying it, I was sitting here going, I'm thinking of how ingrained a lot of our ideas about things are, and it's going to take a miracle. Like literally, we're going to have to when we say in our prayers and our altar work and all that stuff, like it's going to be a miracle, but also I have to remind myself that God is always God. So those two things. But what I learned today, what I wrote down, I'll say, what I wrote down from this show was our job description is love. And love is the freedom consciousness, because love frees you up. We'll go as far as to say love frees you up to be conscious. You know what I'm saying? It clears, it is the great clearer. It is the great, if you really think about it, what Dr. King was talking about, because she quoted Dr. King, the urgency of now was love. What Harriet Tubman was talking about was love. And, we serve love. And I love that Dr. Carroll said that love is the actualization and extreme ownership of self. It's taking 100% responsibility for ourselves, which is what Deepak was talking about when we're talking about the divine feminine. Honoring the divine feminine is in part taking 100% responsibility for our whole self, not just the part of ourselves that we like, not just the part of ourselves that society says is cool, not just the part of ourselves that we can hang out with our friends and have brunch, but our whole full complete selves, whether or not we understand it or not, whether or not we embrace it or not. And we talk about if you queer, we talking about if you on whatever spectrum, we talking about your ability, your neuro ability, your physical ability, however you show up, whatever you look like in the mirror, whatever your weight, whatever your size, whatever your thought process, whoever you love, your full, whole 100% self. Taking full 100% responsibility for. And, that is a powerful healing agent. Being able to look in the mirror and say, I love you. Yeah, I love you. Regardless of what anybody else thinks. And I think that's the work. I don't think. I know that's the work. I know that's the work because I feel like the world would look different if we could do that more easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I learned. That's what I learned. And if we're all complete, we're going to go ahead and end the show. That's Class Star, people. Thank you to all of you for being present. If you learned something powerful here, don't keep it to yourself. Tell folk about this show. And next week, bring 3 of your woo-woo friends. The world is held together by our agreements and our conversations about those agreements. What? Yes.
Can I say
yes.
one thing?
Yes.
You can purchase the song and get all of that stuff from my website, which is realcharisma.com. And also be sure to head on over to the Philadelphia Sunday Sun's website, philasun.com, where you can see and read the article on my cover story, which I'm pretty excited about. Yay!
Yay! We was going to do that. We was going to do that. Okay, so you heard what Charisma said, realcharisma.com. Make sure you go over there, get all the details. Make sure you pick up a copy of her Philadelphia Sunday Sun. I'm going to go find mine, so go find yours, okay? You can also iTunes. Buy her single on iTunes. Yes. There's a video on iTunes too?
I don't think so. Not yet anyway, but I'm working on that. But
okay.
it is on YouTube.
Okay.
So.
Okay, cool. Okay. So if you want to live in a different world, we are going to have to talk about things differently. Yes, as Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith is known to say, the second coming is community. Thank you to our guest star, Charisma. Thank you, your gorgeous self, for being here. Also, Dr. Carol Penn. Also, Nakia Murray from VTOX Health and Wellness. Thank you, DJ Frosty Phoenix. Thank you also to Aubrey Air Breezy for helping with show prep today. She is our intern. We're really excited. We're going to get her, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Thank you,
love you Aubrey.
For being present. Charisma says she loves you. Woo is best done together. Don't forget, you can sign up for free weekly updates. They're called Stars Notes. They come directly to your inbox. They help you get prepared for what we're talking about in class. So you can go to mvmckeyshow.com to sign up for that. All right, that's it. Levine, I should just say
Yeah, no. Yeah, no,
What?
go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish out. Say Levine House Star People.
Okay, Freedom Sounds of Jazz is up next. Levine House Star People.
Levine Osho MV. But tonight, as per usual with Freedom Sounds of Jazz, they're always playing jazz music throughout the ages. But for June, Black Music Month, Jonathan Bay is coming with Freedom Sounds of Jazz as a part of our DJ mixes. We're coming to Fridays at 10 p.m. With your favorite Philly jazz African-American artists. So stay tuned for Freedom Sounds of Jazz special focus on Black Music Month. There you go.
Okay. Now Levine House Star People.
Levine Osho MV.
Levine Osho.
Thank you. See you next week. Peace.